Welcome back folks to the channel, and in today's video we're going to look at some of the most terrifying and strange medical devices which were used in the early 20th century. Now some of these devices, you look at them and you just go in shock because it just looks like it's from a different world or is made by a mad scientist. So bear with me because this video is gonna be strange, weird, but also hell of interesting. Now this very simple machine was actually used to apparently measure the brainwaves 1940s. That's right, this machine with 4 flexible rods attached to the brain to transmit the data for measuring the actual brainwaves. Very interesting contraption, and also I don't know if it was working or not, but sometimes, these people start off very plainly and then things evolve further on. This, guys, is a portable respirator. It's gigantic, but maybe it worked as intended. So this was a portable respirator or iron lung designed to enable patients to recover effectively at home in 1955. I mean, look at that. It's a huge chunk of a metal, but maybe it was actually helping the people, so that's interesting. Now, this goes into the realm of effectively pseudoscience, you could call it. This is a wire suit designed to measure body temperature while researching the psychological effects of high-speed and space travel, 1960. I mean, obviously this is just weird and bizarre because people would not go in space with this wire, suit effectively, so the testing was pretty much useless if you think about it, but nonetheless a very bizarre creation. This one is a very interesting one. This is a rotating cobalt machine swinging around the body of a patient, attacking cancerous tumors, 1955. We don't know how efficient this machine was, but this is a very interesting contraption once again. And we have another, interestingly enough, cancer treating machine. This is a physician adjusting the beam path of the 2 million volt deep therapy X-ray machine used to treat cancer at the Francis Delafield Hospital in New York. Again, a very interesting machine. Was this working? Was it not working? We don't know. Now this almost looks like a coffin, but it's not a coffin. So this is actually Winston Churchill's personal pressure chamber, created to enable him to make high altitude flights safely, 1947. Apparently he was not able to do it without this pressure chamber, so this was effectively a lifesaver for him. Now this picture is also very controversial because look at the guy's face. He doesn't seem to be enjoying his time. So this was a ergonomic chair for giving general electric treatment for psychological effect in psychoneurotic cases. World War I era. We don't know if this device was actually able to give some sort of treatment or ease to these people, but nonetheless the guy's face is very indicative of maybe the side effects, or maybe just because he is already in a state and then this machine is helping him recover from that state. These are some very interesting tube machines which were used to stimulate blood circulation in people in 1955. Again, a very interesting contraption, isn't it? Here we have a woman which is inside an electric bath at the Light Care Institute 1900s. Okay, now I'm not sure what this electric bath is supposed to be doing. Is it supposed to be healing this person or giving them energy or cleansing them? No idea, guys. Nonetheless, this looks like a very scary cage to go inside and put yourself to the treatment of this, interestingly enough said, electric bath. Now this one is an interesting one. This is the first ever electrocardiograph introduced by the Cambridge Scientific Instruments. This one, guys, is the precursor of more modern technology. Look at that, how far we have come since then. So this woman is apparently wearing a flu mask during the flu epidemic at the First World War, or better known as the Spanish flu as well, 1919. I don't know the efficiency of this mask because obviously her mouth is still uncovered, so it doesn't make any sense, to be honest. But at the end of the day, back in the day, people were trying lots of these things basically to try to make a profit and also to try to make money, obviously, right? This is called a cobalt bomb treatment of a patient at a Paris clinic. Again, 1959. I presume it's for therapy of cancer. Now this one is a very interesting invention. This is called the iron lung. So it's a machine which basically covers the person's almost full body, and then it applies different pressure at different parts of the body to stimulate the respiration of the body, so to stimulate the blood flow and also to stimulate the person's breathing inside this machine. So it's quite interesting because this was the first of its kind, and it was technology which was invented in the first half of the 20th century. Here we have another example of the iron lung in a museum. As you can see here, the person's full body will go inside and then only their face would be on the outside from the neck upwards. So this, guys, is the spinal apparatus, which was invented by Dr. Clark spinal apparatus circa 1878. One of the most bizarre and least practical treatments of this scoliosis. As you can see here, this is how they tried initially to treat the disease with this particular very, I would say, interesting contraption, isn't it? This shows how far we've come, right? This is the latest X-ray apparatus in 1934 being operated by a radiologist wearing the old type protectors, which are currently, of course, no longer required because they have protection inside of the machine. But just imagine how far we've come, because back in the day, to do this sort of thing, you have to protect yourself because of this incredible radiation. Now this is called a lunatic chair. Seriously, was a chair given to people with mental illnesses in a Dutch hospital in the 1930s, guys. Pretty damn scary, isn't it? These are physiotherapy machines, which were effectively you would put a person inside the machine and then just leave them to the treatment. 1920. And we're gonna finish off with this one, a patient undergoing lateral cerebral dysarthria treatment in the early 1920s. The arrhythmia used a galvanized current to joint psychosis sufferers. Eventually, the doctor said that this was unsafe and also an unreliable way of treatment afterwards. So yeah, for example, guys, how technology can advance, and sometimes a medical device which was considered useful or important would then become obsolete and also unsafe after further studies would be conducted. So guys, that's it for today's showcase on some of the most bizarre and interesting medical machines ever you've seen in your life. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys, and I shall see you later in the next upload. Bye.